Hello everybody, I'm back today doing a Vindicare assassin. So this is the same client as the other one, so it's gonna be a Mars base. But this guy, for this one, he wants camouflage, and so I'm thinking, since it's gonna have a red base and then maybe like a gray stone pillar, I'll have this side right here gray, and then it'll be red on this side and whereas in the lower part, so kind of like go from like a red to a gray. But I'm gonna try and make it like it's like urban camo, so it's got like splotches and has changing color. I think that might work. Might be terrible though, but we'll figure that out. So I'm just gonna do a quick base coat of the ground first to see what kind of colors I want. Because I might change up the colors. Like I might have red on him be different kind of red than on the base, just so it looks much more different. Look way too muddy if it was the same kind of red. So I might do that. Anyway, let's get some paint on them. So, is the music playing? Is the music playing? Okay. Okay. So, I'm just going to use some Scorn Red base and some Bloodstone. Get it mixed together. And then maybe just darken it with some umber. Okay. I like to do the base first, just because if you do the base last and you overpaint on the model, it's much harder to fix than if you overpaint the because you do the model first last and you overpaint onto the base. That's much easier to fix and much less noticeable. So I always like to do the base first, or at least get it started. So let's see. Needed to make a little more paint there. I ran out. So okay, almost done a good base coat on this guy. It's kind of annoying, this giant gear thing on that foot. Makes it so much harder to paint that area. Not to mention that pillar. But I think when I've done the camo, I'm gonna go back over and know like the little straps I have on them and make that black, or maybe a dark brown, depending on how I feel. I'm also gonna work on the pillar too. Figure out what kind of gray I want. I think I'm gonna go for let's see now. There we go. This is a Crixbane highlight. It's a kind of a green, so it kind of has like a nice contrast to the reds. So should be interesting. Very subtle green, but it's there. And then I'll probably do the gold. Aquila, whatever it's called. And it's a standard color. I'll probably make this gold wall. Actually, I'll try and make it like let's see, I'll make all the gold, make it like a bronze. So I have some verdigris. All that basically the verdigris is the green like weathering, right? It looks like it's like a teal, I guess. Like a milky-ish kind of teal. Kind of. It's the for example, the same color as like the Statue of Liberty. That was a bronze statue that basically was covered in verdigris. Or it could be brass. It's one of those two. Okay. Not a bad color combination. It's green and red. And I'm also going to add a little bit of red dust to this guy as well as pillar. But one of the last steps I gotta do. Okay. It's gonna have a semi-nice base coat before I can do some highlighting on it. Oh yes, make sure there's no giant chunks of red. Good enough. Okay. I'm not too concerned about the red leaching into the screen. I'm gonna add a bit more red, much more red when I do the frosting of the Mars dust. There we go. All right. So this will be the standard kind of very dark. The gears will be very dark metal. It will be the camouflage. Let's see now, what kind of camouflage do I want? Many different patterns. Do I want like a sharp, like rectangular or triangle, or like more soft? I don't know. More organic looking stuff. So desert camo. I might like that one actually. It's simple. Okay. So, in that case... No, I'll wait till I've done the base first. I can do a lot about dry brushing. The way this model is, it's just so much overlapping pieces. Let it wait for a minute. Okay, so let's do the metal then on the ground. So this is going to be pig iron. Just do a base coat. I'm not too worried about the streakiness because I'm doing a dark paint on like a white primer. It look a little streaky, but when I do the black wash, it'll get rid of all the streaks. And any remaining streaks I can just get rid of when I do the highlighting or when I do the dusting of the Mars dust. So I'm not too concerned. But I need to get this all stuff done before I start working on the model, the assassin himself. Because you can see here I'm getting a lot of overpaint on the assassin, which I don't want to happen. Right? Would have ruined his paint job otherwise. I'd started the assassin first. You can always paint the model off the base, but I hate doing that. So, there we go. It's a little off camera. There we go. Okay. So, I think the stone is actually ready to go now. So, let's get some Bastion Gray, and we're gonna take some Menos or more white for some. It's like a pure white. It's gonna do a little bit of mix. Don't do that. Let's get a right proper mix before I get into it. This is probably a little too bright. Let's find out. Oh, not too bad. I'm gonna do it thin. Work on the edges. Okay. And here I'm just gonna go the reverse, just because of how the this curves. There we go. Because this be darker than this part, so I'm just gonna exaggerate that. Okay. It's so battle damaging. Pretty rough in this. Don't worry too much about making it smooth. Okay. And then after this, I'll probably do another highlight. And then I'm going to do the wash, dark brown wash over this as well as the metal. But maybe before that, I'm going to do a dry brush on the Mars red. Okay. Let's see. So this is one of those commissions where it's only my advanced quality, so about 2-hour time to frame. So hopefully to basically finish this guy in one sitting, except for some very small details. So this is gonna be a red and gray camouflage going from the red Mars base. So on this side would be like red camouflage, and then this side would be like a gray, so it's going to be transition. So let's see if I can pull it off. But first I got to figure out what colors I want to use for that. And so I need to figure out what his environment colors are going to be. Okay. I think I'm going to do one more highlight. Just more white and quick Spain highlight. Just make it a little more poppy. Make me a little rough too, just because it's battle damaged, and not care about how crisp it is. Because how everything's so chipped. So exaggerate some of the scratches. Pick out all the edges. Nothing too fancy. Okay. You don't have to be that consistent either, just make it a little rough and spotty if you want. Exaggerate all that battle damage and stuff and make it not so consistent. There we go. There we go. Good enough. So, let's do the bronze before I forget. This is me molten bronze by P3 again. Haven't used in a while, so let me just give it a good shake. Okay. So let's do the Kila, whatever it's called. First. Okay. Whatever saint this thing is. Okay. Before I do anything, do the dry brushing of the red. Get this bad boy out again. It's a really terrible brush. Alright. And I'm going to add some orange to my Scorn Red and Bloodstone. This will help keep the saturation up and lighten it. It needs a bit more red though. Okay, that's good. Just gonna thin out a bit more on my finger, or my hand. I'm not gonna worry about too much about it. If I get it on that stone, I'll get there eventually anyway. So, okay, maybe a bit brighter. And then I'll do the pretty much straight orange after this. Maybe a little bit of yellow. Oh, by the way, the orange is Cata Red Highlight. Okay. Just get a little bit of yellow in there. paper's dead. Get it straight from the bottle. There we go. And just extreme highlights on the dry brush. Okay, let's give it a second to dry a bit more. It's actually kind of wet. So let's try this. On a subtle note. Gotta make sure it's dry first, because that's still quite wet there, so I'll probably do it a little later. I'm not gonna do so much highlighting on the in the middle, in between his legs, because his body's kind of shadowing it. So I'll try and get more highlights on the edges where it's less shadow. Okay. Yeah, it's still wet there. It's kind of making it a little muddy, but it's fine. Good enough. Alright, so now that the red on the Mars soil is done, let's do a wash. And I'll basically conclude the majority of the base. And the fun part begins, which is the camo on this guy. Alright, so I'm going to use a bunch of inks for this one. I'm going to use brown ink. Let's use the dead bottle first. This is Pressure Press brown ink. And then I'm going to use green ink. And then if you do a proper combination, I think it's like 1:3 ratio. Brown to, sorry, 3 parts brown, 1 part green. Roughly around there. You'll get a black. But I don't want a pure black, I want a more of a brownish black, so I'm going to add less green. And then to make it nice and thick, much more workable, I'm going to add some mixing medium. And there we go. Okay. Oh, there's way too much green in there still. Add some more brown. So these are inks, so they have very high pigment concentrate, not a wash. Washes normally get overpowered by the inks, so don't try to mix the two unless you're doing a very small ratio. Okay, I got way too much green on my brush. Let's clean it off and try it again. That's okay. Alright. So, let's work on the bottom, work our way up. I'll take a worse brush and just play around with it. So the nice thing with the mixing medium here is it gives me a much longer time to work with it. And then if you really want to get rid of a lot of paint, then you just like to finger paint. Especially for edges, it looks great. Or you can make any kind of rough detail, just finger paint it off. So it still almost retains some of the ink, it stains it a little bit. Yeah. Okay. There we go. I'm liking that. Make sure this giant gaping hole between his legs is covered. There's no any white primer seeping through. Okay, I think that's good. And then this part I'm gonna try and make so the far side on this side is darker than this side because his body is blocking light a bit. So I'm just gonna try and give it a little bit of transition. Okay, good enough. Just glob that stuff on where you want it. Just be careful you don't use too much mixing medium. It will start destroying detail because it's thicker than inks or washes, so when it dries it kind of is chunky, not chunky, but it just pools, which is good, but it also can destroy detail because it pools too much in some areas. There we go. I'll thin this up just a little bit. So one section where all the crevices are. Oh, there we go. So then I wanted a little less than. Tease it in. And I can probably go back if I want to and just help solidify some of the shadows, like right here. If it's a little too like muddy and like it pools funny, I can just go back with like a dark brown and figure it out. Alright, so this part I'm gonna use mostly fingerprint. Nope. Stupid pillars are those reinforcement steel bars are basically. Saw my fingers from getting there, so I'm just gonna use my brush to get most of that ink out of there. Okay. There we go. Oops. No. There we go. Just go back over it a bit. Make sure it hasn't pooled funny. And once it starts drying, really don't touch it. Mixing it can make it look do funny things if you touch it while it's still drying. Okay, I mean that's good enough. A little too much pool right there. Yeah, it looks fun. Oh, it's not too bad now. I did an okay job. Alright, I think there's no real funny places that it pooled, so I'm gonna let that be for a little bit. Mixing medium tastes a little sweet. It's kind of strawberry. Alright, this palette is all used up. Let's get a new one. And we'll start working on the camouflage. So camouflage is going to be Cata Red and transitioning into like a Crixbane highlight. Oh well, that's fine. Got a little bit of wash on the stone. You can see. Oh, I was supposed to wash the metal. Let's just fix that with some armor wash, I guess. See, I have 4 armor here. I have 4 armor washes. I want to use the one that's almost dead. I'm gonna thicken up a bit with some mixing medium. It's kind of got a very small hint of brown armor wash, but it's pretty much predominantly black. Just glob it in there. Okay. Make sure it doesn't pool too funny. Kind of blends the streaks away, which is nice. Okay, so it's time for the camouflage. Looks like I missed something else. Okay, so let's do some scorn red. Not Catter red. Catter red is way too vibrant. It's like a cherry red. So let's find out. I haven't done this before, so it's gonna be a learning experience for all of us. I've done camouflage before, but not transitioning from these two colors. So it's not pure Catter red, so I'm gonna add a bit of orange to it and maybe some yellow. And I'm gonna shade it with black and white. Let's figure out what kind of colors I want. Okay, it's way too bright. Let's do some bloodstone. Kind of a reddish brown. So I think I'm going to do is have it red and then gray on the side, transition, and then I'm going to break it up with spots of like black, I think. Let's see. Oh, I got a bit of, what is that? I think that's fluff. I got fluff in my stupid blanket. Okay, see if I get rid of it. Yeah, it's dust of some sort. Okay. I have to be careful of that. Okay, let's try it again. So all the other straps and stuff like that, oops, going off screen. All the other straps and all that little stuff will be black and maybe a dark brown. Help break up his silhouette. Because the camouflage make him look weird and muddy. Okay. So this half is going to be the red side, and the other half is going to be the brown side, or the gray side, the greenish gray side. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. And I'm just gonna, in the transition area, I'm just gonna try and give it more of a gradient, so it's not too harsh. There we go. I'm not worried too much about this stuff right now, just because I'm gonna go back and do another second base coat. The gun's gonna be like a black, maybe even blue black. Okay. So this is the Crixbane highlight. Bit of a green to it, very light shade of green, mostly gray though. Okay. Be careful not to touch too much on the terrain piece behind. Though I do ever overpaint and start painting over onto the terrain piece, I can probably cover it up when I do the dusting. The Mars dusting, the big glob of dust that just settled there. Cover up any mistakes. You might end up like one of those space brains that have like cut down the middle with two different colors, like a yellow and a blue on one side. Hopefully it doesn't turn up. It's because I'm gonna kind of give him like a unifying like shapes going over him, basically crossing between the red and the gray. So, like a dark kind of gray, I think. Maybe almost a black, depends. But it's going to be very much experimental and trial and error, so don't expect a perfect result. Okay, you get a little gradient over top of that, so it's not a harsh gray line. And then I think I'm gonna make his head black, same color as the. Or should I make it red? What do you guys think? Should I make his head red, gray, or black? Let's see. Let's do the transition like the rest of his suit. Mostly red, maybe a bit of gray. Okay. Just gonna even out this red base coat and make the transition look a little more smoother. The second coat. I'm definitely running out of this red. I don't have enough for his top of his head, which is unfortunate. Yeah, let's just fix that right now before I forget. His head won't be mostly red. So. Okay. I think that's the right red. Yeah, good enough. Might be a little too dark. Not gonna matter too much since I am going to do a bunch of highlighting and also break it up with a bunch of shapes. I think I'm gonna do organic soft shapes compared to like hard edges, because he's in like a mostly like natural like deserts, so there isn't too many hard shapes. Mostly just like sand dunes and more soft organic looking things that break up the landscape. Let's add a little bit of red. Okay. Computer card. Yeah, nice little transition right here. So and the rest of the part of the head's gonna be black. Okay, very shiny black. Okay, wait for that red to dry. Then I'm gonna just do a little bit more of the gray on top of the head, and then it'll be good to do all the shapes that I want. Okay. Really important I'm doing a very solid coat, because this is basically like mid-tone. And then any kind of imperfections are going to be very visible if I don't fix them. So, it's going to be very crucial. Okay. Oh, I missed the part of his neck. Let's see. change the brightness now, exposure. So now it's not pure white anymore. Let's see. It'll look easier. Okay. It's a little more closer to the natural colors now. Makes the gun look insanely bright, but it'll be fine. What do you guys think? Is that good? Could change, or should go back to the darker colors? Less exposure. Back to the gray. And a little more gray on top of the head. Is that really a piece of fluff on his head? Ugh. Wasn't there when I started? Let's see. Well, worst case scenario, I just put the solid dark gray shape right there to fix any kind of imperfections. So back to the gray. Just making a little bit of transition. Okay, I think it's time for the camo pattern itself. So, I think for the camo pattern I'm actually going to use like a dark brown. Let's see. I'm going to look at some desert camo. I wonder if I want to do solid chunks or just a darker chunk. Okay, let's try it on this guy's leg. It's gonna look, let's see. Let's do a simplified version. Looks less weird. I think I'm just gonna do solid chunks of this. So. And my problem with doing stuff like this, I want it random, and I always keep on doing the same shape over and over again. Okay, make it look more random. And also, if I do closer and farther pieces. Basically balls. Go back to this one and just fix it up. Okay. that part right there where I missed, I'm just gonna put some camo over top of it to hide anything. Let's see now. Using a number 4 brush for this one. I have a better number 4 brush. This is a little older one. The tip's kind of curving, so I'm gonna go back to my newer one. See if it's any better for getting a good clean shape. I might need to make these shapes bigger, actually. Let's see. I haven't done camo in forever. Last one I did was a urban camo on a cloak of a like a D&D rogue. Okay. Yeah, it works quite well with a newer tip. I'm not too worried about too much about the inner side because it's you're not going to see it as much. Kind of looks like a weird duck dog on the shoulder there. And then where I didn't do a good job of something, I'm gonna cover it up. Let's see. making it look more like strips instead of less like cow shapes. Because cow shapes are more cloud-like. These are more like weird raggedy lines. Because you get the dreaded cow camouflage. That doesn't look good. Alright, it looks less camouflage now. I mean, it looks weird, but let's see. Okay. Now let's do some highlighting. So I'm going to do some highlighting first. Use some very thin layers of like a white or cream to bring out the anatomy, and then do some shading. Actually, what do I do for shading or highlighting? Actually, let's do some parts of his chest. I didn't. Really doing in his chest. There we go. So, you can see where the this is dried now, and it didn't pool exactly where I wanted it to be, so I can go back and just thicken out some of the shadows, make them a little less clunky. Yeah, let's do it now. It's basically the same color as this Umbro, so I'm just gonna use that. Let's see if this, I might add some black to it. Let's find out. Ah, it's basically the same. Even out some of the shadows. Good enough. Except for this part. Since he's kind of blocking this whole area of his body, I'm gonna just deepen it a little bit more. Okay. Good enough. Now, let's work on that camouflage. So I'm going to use Minoff white base. Not white, but apply very thin amounts. Just kind of any part where it should be highlighted. The thinner the better. Maybe not too thin. I'll probably do probably two or three passes actually with this. The more passes, the better it looks. But I'm actually probably going to do first pass, and I'm going to go and do a shade. And go back and do the highlights again. And figure out where I want to have it brighter. And I'm just kind of blocking in where the light's hitting it. I want it to be brighter. Very subtle. Okay. If there's any questions, just let me know. If you guys want to change the music or whatever you guys feel like. Way too thick there. Let's do a little bit on the chest. Ah, no. Chest can be mostly dark, so I'm going to do some shading on that. Alright, I think the first pass and the highlights are done. Nothing too fancy. And then for the shade, I'm just going to do straight old black. This is Thamar black. As pure as black as you can get. And once again, it's a very thin shade. And just find where all my shadows are. Okay. Basically, I'm picking at the anatomy and stuff. The exact opposite of what the camouflage is supposed to do. It's supposed to hide all your silhouette, and then what I'm trying to do is make it look like the anatomy is actually still there. Make them look human, not like a bunch of dust, sand, or stuff. So. Pretty much all of his chest here is all shadowed out because of the gun, so I'm just going to do a very easy and fast shade there, just a thin black. Shoulder. God, those are fucking massive shoulder. Use my French. Okay. Probably should have done the shading first before the highlights. That's fine. Not like I did that really bright highlight. It's all going by trial and error at this point. I've been saying similar to this, but not exactly like this, not the transition. There's urban camo, not this desert camo. Oh, there's a big white primer spot there, which should be dark. Not black it out. And to do a very quick shade on the inner leg here, where it's the pillar's kind of blocking all the sun, so it's naturally dark there. It looks so much better when it's darker, but I don't want it too dark. It doesn't want to be darker than the rest of the surrounding, so be careful of that. It's supposed to be one with the environment, not stand out. Okay. I think I'm going to do the black again. It's one more pass of the shadow. And then do one more pass of the highlight. Looks better. Careful not to go too dark just because it'll start interfering with the actual shapes I put on it. So. It's more about defining the muscles. Let's go warm. Give me a second. Okay. No more fresh air now. Defining those muscles and stuff. Any questions, let me know. Don't mind asking questions and painting at the same time. Whoop. Might be darkening a little too much in the back here in some places. A little muddy. That may look different once I've done all the straps and stuff. It's hard to tell what is caused by the straps and what's caused by the actual camouflage scheme. I also might go back and just clean up the edges of the camouflage. Make it better. Let's find out. Let's do one more pass of highlighting. Define that shoulder a bit more. I don't want this to overpower the my patterns below it. I just wanted to add to it. Maybe do little white specks, little dots like shine. Trying to crispen up some of his anatomy. The light plays and stuff. Lighter than the rest. Okay. It's so important you gotta figure out you're doing. You're gonna start making it worse. Am I making it better or am I making it worse? Am I doing too much and making it muddy again? Let's see. do a little bit of white speck right there. I think maybe white specks actually would be good. Let's see. Point of sheen. Let's try the guy's knees. That's a good part of that. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay. A little crotch. I haven't used this guy's arm at all, have I? Do a white sheen on the dark spot, a little white speck. There we go. Okay, so try and do a point of origin where light's hitting him on the crown of his head. Sure. I have to go and fix that once it's dried. It's good enough for now.
For your audience must be impressed or you're wasting.
Let's do a line on this one. There we go. Let me do more streak on this one. Just gonna do a cartoony kind of outline the muscles a bit, I guess. I'm actually liking that. Alright, let's do a line like this. Okay. I thought lines actually work. So let's do a line. Okay, I think I'm gonna start doing too much and start ruining it, so I'm gonna start saying this is the end of the highlighting and start doing the straps. So start ruining it. But first, I'm gonna try doing, like I said before, cleaning up the edges of some of the brown where I got a little too light and get a crisp, clear edge. Okay, let's actually get a better small brush. Number 4 brush is probably not good. Let's try number 2. It's my smallest brush. As long as the tip is good, it should be just fine. Okay, let's try you. I'm just gonna try to break up that white line. Problem is that number 2 brush doesn't have a good reservoir, so it dries up faster. Yeah, it kind of looks okay. There's gonna be a lot of work to do in 45 minutes. So because I don't want to do that much time on this guy. But if you experiment, it normally takes much longer, so. Okay. Oops. So I'm just going to do this edge thing on the more noticeable ones. Oh, this guy's... There's like one strand in here that's too long and it's causing the whole thing to... Let's try a different brush. I need to fix that brush. This might be better. More reservoir. It's okay. Let's see. I think that's about it. No, don't do all the edges, just some of them. Surface right here, to fix this one's a little too bad on this one too. Okay, let's do some straps now. My thing's drying out. Let's get some water. Let's get a new piece of paper because it's pretty much all black. Back to my number 4 brush. Just thumb our black. I'm gonna do all the peripheral stuff. There's a lot of tedious blocking in all the parts. This guy has like 3 or 4 belts, it looks like. It's not belts. I think I would do his guns separately, yeah. So we'll do a different time. It's gonna be like a blue, I think. Not quite blue, but some kind of other gray. I don't even care how many bullets does he? Feels like it's like 2-3 clips worth. Not many clip bullets at all. So many straps, this guy. This is helping define the camouflage a bit more. All these crisp borders now. Be really difficult if I ever overpaint on with camouflage. It's very hard to fix. If you guys have any questions about my previous steps or my upcoming steps, just let me know. Or anything in general, really. If you have any opinions what colors I should do for like the glow, like on like the eyes or the lenses on the barrel, or the scope, anything you want, let me know. Okay. This part right here I can't really see. This is so close to the terrain. It's hard to get my brush on it. Okay. All right. I ran out of black. I need some more Thumbmer black in a second. Okay. Don't need that much, actually. I'm gonna do a bunch of layering to get it all nice. And then probably a wash overwards, because I can go fast and the wash will fix all my mistakes. I hope. I'm running out of time. I want to get them done soonish. Alright, this guy's kind of looks like it's snorkeling gear actually. He's got like a the tube that goes out of the water so you can breathe. It kind of looks like that. A swimming mask with a snorkel. Huh, no, I can't unsee that. Too bad, probably no water in the desert or in the Mars. No little swimming pools you can go. Okay. Oops. A little mistake there. Just rubbed away with wet brush. I think that's it. No. There's always somewhere else. Oh, black out all the stuff down here. As much as possible. Okay, let's work on some edge highlighting. It's a lot of it. GW's favorite method is edge highlighting. All our stuff. Looks great for Space Marines. Not for all projects. So, let's do the bluish gray. So this is a Great Coat Gray, and it's got a nice little touch of blue on it. Much more visible when it's like a lighter color, but let's see. Change up my water. This water's a little too brown. Okay. Let's go for the better tip. Number 4 brush. A little too thick there, it's fine though. Okay. The button's back here and make it green. I'll do that later after I've done all the washes and stuff. Let's go for a finer brush. Let's try my other one. A little too thick. Okay. That's a little too watery. Let's try that. Now you're much better. I'm actually make those. They always have like, these weird like bracer like in the back of their hand. There's a weird thing. I always make it metal. I don't know what it is. Like knuckle protector. Okay. Since it's got a little bit of an upturned flap here, I'm going to do a little bit on the bottom too, streaks of light. Okay. That hose coming from his backpack to his snorkel is going to be red, I think. Like my sanguine red. Define this guy's hands and knuckles and stuff. It's pretty light black there, so I'll just scroll back to highlight and do that. Alright. I think that's the first level done. Let's do some now. Take some more white. Just add it in there and do some more extreme edges. Let's first clean it off a bit. Make sure my brush is nice and clean. No paint dries on the tip. Little balls of paint, which not good for edge highlighting. There we go. I missed a little bit of highlighting in the back part. That's annoying. I hate missing stuff in my back. I always do it though. I'm hoping a lot of the wash will fix a lot of my mistakes here. So, I'm not going to go too slow. I'm going to do it turn fast. Maybe you have to go back to like a more pure white on some of the edges. Let's find out. Okay, now I'm gonna pick out the knuckles. Much better looking now. Let's see what parts that I missed. Okay. A few parts I see where I missed on like the camouflage. Hopefully, I'm hoping the black wash will kind of hide that. Kind of put the black wash over top of a lot of things, not just as blacks. You definitely missed that area to highlight. Okay. It's always important to get the corners of square things, square objects. It really helps give a nice silhouette, or define it better. One of those two, anyway. Next, I'll be doing some metals, I think. I can kind of combine the black wash with doing the metals as well. Okay, let's see if I can. I'm probably going to do like a white, almost a pure white. Do the most extreme edge highlighting, but after the black wash. I might just go back over it with like a lighter gray. It all depends on how the black wash does its job. Okay. So time for some silver. This is Quicksilver. It's my P3 again, because that's all I use really. Whoops. Don't do that. And I've got silver all over my thumb. I think it's okay because I'm gonna not be touching the model with that hand. So the bullets themselves are silver, or I guess metal, like a steel, whatever they are. But the casings are with bronze, so I'll just do the tips of them silver. I'm pretty sure do the whole gun, except for the Aquila symbol, the blue, black blue. Actually, maybe not. I might do some silver on it. What else is silver on him? I'm gonna try to do this, that red and tube red tied together. Any other skulls he's got on him? Oh, he has belt buckle. Mr. Badass here. The skull belt. do the bronze now. I was using molten bronze. Very little bronze, just on the bullets. I think that's all the bullets on his body. Oh no, never mind. I was wrong. He's got 4 clips. 1 in the gun and 3 on his person. 3 separate locations. Oh, let's see. While that's drying, I can figure out what I'm going to do next. And what kind of wash I'm going to use, I think. That's my next step. Do I want ink or do I want to wash? I think I'm going to try a wash. And then hopefully I'll do what I want. If not, I'll do the ink. Okay, so I'm just gonna use some straight armor wash, and then I might add some mixing game to it. And then if that doesn't work, I will go back and just do some inks. So let's work on the guy's face first. Kind of doing what I'm wanting. Kind of pulling the areas I want. It's kind of shading it a little bit. We'll work on the bullets now. No, it's not too bad. I'll go back over the black and just define it. Give it some borders, but besides that, oh, I didn't do the guy's knuckles. Forgot about that. That's fine. So we have 3 bullets on his hips, 4 bullets in the arm, what, 3 bullets on his chest? Yeah. I wonder if there are different types of bullets. If you want to be fancy, you have to do different colored bullet heads. Like blue for armor piercing, or like red, or I think it's red for armor piercing, blue for like, oh, wait again, like slugs, fleshlight or whatever. There's some pretty scary bullet types out there. I've got a whole bunch of black in his belly area, just because it's so much shadow by the gun. I'm darkening. Alright, anywhere I'm seeing like white primer, I'm just going to do a little bit of black wash. Just to darken it a bit. Define the muscles a bit more. Especially lower back, it's kind of darkened by his little backpack. This fanny pack to the back. I did a good job what I wanted. This armor wash. Oh, there's neck. That's a little white primer I gotta get rid of. I think I'm gonna make his glasses green. Oh, I'm out of armor wash. I'll get more. It's probably a little thicker than my usual stuff because it's my oldest one and it's almost out. So, oh. Don't knock him off over. Bad things happen. Okay, he's looking a little less muddy. Hopefully. Going back into the guy's knuckles. Silver. And hopefully the armor wash isn't actually wet still. Otherwise it would cause the silver to run everywhere. Okay. There we go. Now it's just gun time, I think. Actually, let's do the red before I forget. So it's gonna be sanguine red, a nice kind of burgundy. I like it. It's not gonna be really overpowering. So. Okay. There we go. Maybe let's do his eyes before I do anything else. So the eyes are going to be, if I find it neck right, green. There it is. Very high saturation, very bright, very glowy looking green. Not doing a good job there. This is my number 4 brush. Probably should be using a smaller brush. Let's go back to number 2. Make sure 2's got nice and damp, and then let's go in. Let's brighten up the areas where I want it to be brighter. Oh. Okay, I'm not doing good in that one eye. Okay. That's okay. Alright, take some sulfuric yellow, and mix it with this. Get like a limey, yellowy green. Now I'm just going to take, I think, let's try the black ink. This might go horribly, but let's try this. shade that green in me. So far, so good. Let's take it slow. It's okay. That's acceptable. Okay, let's maybe just add some white. Little specks of white. So back to Thamar, or Marrow White? Morrow? Let's see what's your name again. Morrow White. Marrow does not sound good. A little bone. Alright. Let's do the top. Break up that darker area. This brush tip is too fine to make a dot. I could use bigger brushes for that. Oops. Preferably not floor brushes. Make sure there's no nasty dust or hair in that. Go back to my number 4 brush. Time to do a dot. There we go. Now do I want to do another dot on the bottom? No, I think it looks good enough. I might actually do a dot of pure yellow though, because I like how that shady yellow looks. Maybe too much. Oh well. I didn't ruin it, but I don't think I made it better, so that's fine. Got that thin brush. I'm just gonna clean up the edge here. Not as clean as I like. I'm gonna use pure black for this ink to take too many layers. Since the face is the focal point, I make sure it's nice and crisp. Everybody looks at the face first. There we go. It's one sexy assassin. So now it's in the gun. Let's make it a grayish blue. So I'm going to take some Exile Blue, which is a not very, it's a deep, a little saturated blue, and then we take this crisp paint highlight and mix it in. And also just desaturate even more because I don't want it too blue. It also might be a little too bright, so I'm going to darken with some Samurai Black. So further desaturated. Did I just make Grey Coat gray? Maybe. I'm gonna add more black to it though, or sorry, Exile Blue. Plan is to just do a black wash over all this. Maybe even black-blue wash. Oh, I have 2 minutes left, but I'll finish the gun and then I'll be done the stream. It's a little while though for the gun. It's a big one. I won't worry about any of the small details like the quill on the gun or the frilly bits here. I'll do it off stream. The camera took a little longer than I thought. I was experimenting, so it always takes longer, especially when it doesn't go as planned, and then you have to do more and more, and it gets longer and longer. Okay. So I think I'm gonna do the highlighting, and then I'm gonna do the wash. Like I did on the rest of it. On the other black. I'm just not doing a pure black on this one, like the leather straps and the hands, just to make it look more interesting. Different shades of black. Because yeah, this is way too much of a big object. Also make his hands look weird too. Maybe like black on black, it would be harder to define the hands and make them look nice. This would definitely help, since this is a different color, different hue. Okay. I'm gonna clean up my brush, and then I'm gonna go and just make sure that there isn't too much pooling. The detail in this thing is kind of fine, so make sure I don't ruin any detail when I glob it on the paint. Also make sure I didn't miss any places. A little globby there. Also here. I'm not too worried about the indents. Black wash will get that. Okay. Oh, and delicate little area right here. Okay. He's getting there. I like how this is going. Where's the guy? There we go. A little too chunky right there. I need more of a gradient. Okay. I think it's time for some highlighting. Do I want to add white or add gray? Let's add white. So this is more white again. I was thinking about doing using Menoth white, which is a cream, but I don't think it would look good once you do a black wash. So I'm gonna keep it unsaturated and do a pure white. It's a little cozier. Okay, so actually big. Let's get a smaller brush for this one. And my number 2 brush. Alright, Mr. Gun, let's see. I'll make that skull silver to keep in line with the other skulls. Okay. Probably also make the clip in his gun silver as well. So things a little more interesting. Okay. Maybe a little rougher and faster in this side. This is the part where nobody really sees, so I'm just gonna wing it a bit more there. I always have a problem doing random. Those 3 random streaks were very much in unison and exactly the same length and width. Sun streaks should not be the same. Whatever they're called. Should probably figure that out if I'm gonna do Twitch streaming. The names of that kind of stuff. Well, somebody knows here what I'm talking about, the streaks of light, reflections of the sun on the gun. There must be a proper name for it. Extreme highlights. I think use like a diluted mix or wash for this one. It's mixing medium. A more flat surface in this one. Mixing medium will probably help us. Or should I go for a bunch of inks and make it diluted black blue? Decisions. Alright. Galled that one too much. Alright. Let's add some more streaks just because I can. More in the flat surfaces, not in the curved surfaces. They already have their own streaks. Okay. Do a streak here too. 1 or 2 streaks. There we go. Now it's time for a wash. If I have any space on my palette here. Yeah, it looks okay. So To wash or not to wash? Let's wash. So it's going to be armor wash. This is a mix of medium. And diluted a lot. Or not too much, because the wash is already diluted a lot compared to ink. So, let's get a... Let's try this. Also, the ink that the wash I'm using, Armor Wash, is old. It was probably already thickened up a lot. Maybe more wash. Needs to be a little more darker. Let's see. Let's try that. I get that a little better now. Use a clean brush to remove some parts where I don't want it to be. Nope. Okay. Probably should have done the metals when I did the wash, or before I did the wash, but I forgot, and I'll do it later off stream. But you already saw me do the metals anyway. It's basically a metal with a black wash over top. Nothing fancy. Okay. Just get rid of all the excess, especially around the highlights. Yeah, it's not too bad. Make sure there's no white primer anywhere exposed. Yeah, I like that. I am happy with that. For the amount of effort it took. And I'm gonna do a little bit of patina just while it's drying. Okay. So I'm just gonna use some Eldritch, whatever teal. It doesn't actually say what it is, just Eldritch paint. But see, and I'm gonna add a little bit of white to it, so it's a little less vibrant. More natural looking. I'm going to thin it out, and I'm just going to, that's maybe going to add a bit of cream to it. More white. Whatever. It's close enough. I'm just going to apply it. Because basically it's just when the copper gets wet. Because it's green oxidization, and it kind of pools in the bottom of things, and then when it gets wet it builds up and just streaks down. Maybe in the so like in the folds of the wings, you basically get a bunch of more patina. There you go. Okay, I think I am done for today. Did a decent job on him, especially since I didn't know what I was doing on the camo. He's not perfect by any means, but for the amount of time I spent on him, I think he's okay. Let's see how you guys think. Did I do a good job, or did I just do a terrible job? Alright, are we going to do a raid, or are we... No. Alright, thank you for watching. So next time we'll be doing on Thursday at 5. So we'll be doing, oh, what are we doing? We'll be doing a D&D adventure. And it's from, oh, what's it called again? Shape Up? Hero Forge. The Hero Forge D&D. I think it's Tiefling. Tiefling? Tiefling? Tiefling mage or rogue? It's a mage. It's going to be this guy. So. It'll be fun to paint. Probably do a little bit of OSL. Alright. Well, thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you guys on Thursday at 5. Have a good night.